The stochastic fiction game. The stochastic fiction game will begin once I actually start this writing game by typing in this command and executing the stochastic fiction script. This is available on the link in the notes if you want to go ahead and download the script. This is a game for 2 hours. I'm going to start the timer now. At the end of this game, using the stochastic fiction script generated. Oh, it looks like I got other files that are also being used right now too. I need change. But this is the one that we want. This is the stochastic fiction outline for this today's stochastic fiction game. Randomly generated to give some story elements. We're going to write a story within these story elements in the next 2 hours according to this ticking timer right here. For today's stochastic fiction game, the story elements are setting time future, setting main location room, conflict person versus nature, quantity of primary characters mini, point of view first, tense past tense, genre mystery, your format. So that is either a flash fiction, chapter of a novel first, middle chapter of a novel, last chapter of a novel. Let us go for just flash fiction. I'm in a flash fiction mind. It's something I want to complete today or try to think I can complete. Let's spell fiction right. There we go. I think it's I-O-N, right? Yes. Well, that is the outline for today's stochastic fiction game. Oh boy. In the future, so anytime before now. Although, let's put it the distance future. Main location, a room. If this were to be a novel, the first chapter would have to take place in a room. Primary location, at least, if I was going to give myself credit to score this at the end. For this particular one, since it's flash fiction, let's try to have the whole story happen in a room. Conflict person versus nature. Sure. In a room. Quantity of primary characters mini. Well, we'll see how that goes. I may fail there today. Mini inside of a flash fiction story is confusing. Mini here is just 3. Maybe. Point of view first person, I. Damn it. Well, hey, I can get some cool narrative. Maybe that will push the story along for the next 2 hours. And then genre, mystery. Okay, well, I'm not that good at mysteries, and flash fiction mystery is a little hard. Format is flash fiction. My choosing. Sorry for the deep breaths, but I had to sigh a little bit. Yeah. That is it for today. That is the thing for today. Setting time future. I have no idea. I mean, I'm already thinking of some idea. I don't want to go dystopian. Because I can already think like you're in a room and nature's creeping in. You're trying to, I don't know. Person versus nature in a room. The only thing that I could think about would be a conflict that's trying to destroy the room, invade the room. Otherwise, recall the room. Which is not very utopian. And it's a versus nature. It doesn't necessarily say where that room has to be. Maybe it could be kind of fun. Maybe. I have to try to survive. The mystery. Why? Why Okay. Why are the plants invading the room? I don't think that'd be much of a mystery, to be honest, because plants grow so slow and you'd be able to like sleuth it out to find purpose. I'd hope, unless you're a procrastinator, which if you are, that's you. You can let these plants slowly take over then. I don't know. Future, room, person versus nature, mini, first, past tense mystery. I'm just trying to find a focus here. What's the mystery? Like I can think of like why are the plants dying, why are the plants growing, nature, maybe it's an animal. Man, 2 hours. Hour and 53 minutes. I want to have some idea. I'm starting to think of fun things like, I mean, does it have to be like some sort of death life utopia thing? Could it just be like a common fun futuristic contemporary event, the mystery? I mean, I thought of like maybe now it could be about animals, fun little training. Where are they coming from? Why do they like me? That's the mystery. But then I'd have to have some understanding about animals, more than I do, to create some sort of mystery and a believable story that's wrapped around that mystery. All in a flash fiction story, under 1,200 words in 2 hours. Maybe not going to happen. Person versus nature in a room. I'm trying to like oxygen, but I don't want it to be like one of those stupid try to get out and breathe things. That's suffocating. I'm trying to bring the fun back into life a little bit too. I get trapped in dystopia way too easily because it's I've said this before, a very obvious plot. If I have it mystery, and nature. Maybe it could be an infestation. It's not necessarily utopian or dystopian, that's just something that happens during life. But I feel like a lot of those mysteries would be like an infestation of my ants. Where are they coming from? Yeah, let's just not. That put me to sleep. It's already putting me to sleep thinking about it. Let's write words. Maybe if I write something, and it's a person. So let's think of a narrative. It's got to be a mystery. Like, let's start off with that mystery. If it's a flash fiction story, and the conflict, the sooner you get into that, the more you're going to pull your reader in, and the less words you're going to need. Where's my... I don't know. Then you got to have like clues. Person versus nature. Person versus nature. And if I had to like some obvious mystery, that's just lame. First past tense mystery. I forgot to shut the door. I wanted to have shut, sorry. That would be an impressive feat, but shutting the door is what I wanted. Sometimes I suppose it's one of those days when you just don't shut the door. Or you do shut the door. But it's got to be versus nature. Like wind, plants, animals, in a room, in the future. Why is the plant dying? I mean, that... like, try to get away from dystopia. Write some... Would it be a microcosm of reality of destroying the environment to make it non-hospitable for humans? To hell with everybody else, or every other animal. Humans are the most fragile, and yet we consume and destroy it so often. Absolutely resourceful, but if put to the elements, without the accoutrements of society, I don't think we'd all last as long. Person versus nature. And it's a mystery. Because if this was like a novel, and I've already chosen, maybe I should have went novel first chapter. Because then I could have, like, built up a story, had some thorough investigation in a chapter, further discovering each sort of clue that will resolve the plot, resolve the conflict, and end it. Can make it simple, but it's got to be in a room. That's what I'm just stuck. Man. How about during a hurricane? I just don't see any non-violent or dystopian, or like a weather issue, or plants invading, or bugs invading, or wasps. Maybe the mystery is a bunch of bees and you think it's the phone vibrating. Or think it's that's not too bad. Going like the psychology of it, so I got to find a good voice. So my thought right now is for this story to be about a beehive, or maybe wasps, living in the wall and wondering why the wall vibrates. And then discovering it at the end. That would sort of take care of the nature, the room, the mystery. And the future is, whatever. It's not even it could be a thing. Like if this was science fiction, yeah, we're dialed in. Or if this was maybe a different conflict, the future would allow us to at least have some sort of science fiction, speculative fiction, whatever you want to call it, whatever fancy word you want to apply to a thing that takes technology and makes it better than it is now and projects it and hypothesizes what it would be like during the near future or distant future. And how am I going to... So I have a bunch of bees. Kept hearing my phone. Kept hearing my phone buzz in bed. Like there'd have to be like if I had a bunch of bees in a wall, this has got to be a story about someone who's just moved in to a room and only a room. So it's going to be a renter. Maybe there's some collegiate institute. And if you have walls that are joining, you could always think of someone else and not bees. I'm just going off if I keep on. I mean, I've read them to keep on. On occasion, maybe once a year, twice a year, I read some news, some information that I can make an assumption from the source that it's real, coming from the Western Wide Web. And that information and news tells a story about something such as a bee colony found in a wall. That's where I'll go with this. Kept hearing that buzzing in my bed. My phone. Kept hearing my phone. Kept hearing. I mean, I dropped the G, so I'm going to make this a little bit at least a unique first person. Past tense, phone buzz in bed. Collar kept hanging up. Because they buzz if it was hot, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of their buzzing is to cool down the hive. If I've watched enough nature documentaries, I'm able to actually pull those memories from my mind right now and reconstruct them into what I consider truth. Much less other people. Not to mention other people consider truth. Not much less. I got to think of words I use to my transitional phrases. Kept hearing the buzzer. Collar kept hanging up. It was hard to sleep. Hard enough to sleep. Make it a dorm room. I'll fictionalize this. I don't have to totally fictionalize this. I had worked in a national park. This sort of had dorm-like rooms. You know, your shower and toilet were all the same location, place, shared, and you got a bedroom. I believe that will be what I want it to be. Kept hearing my phone buzz in bed. Collar kept hanging up. Hard to sleep in the heat. It was hard. Stuck to your skin. Your soul. Pounding on the dorm room wall. I never lived in a collegiate dorm room. When I went to college, I took courses. Mostly night courses. And never got a degree, but learned. So I don't have that like typical American collegiate experience to be able to pull and fictionalize from. But I have lived in something like a dorm room when I worked at national parks. So that in and of itself will at least help me fictionalize this. Maybe, maybe not. Let's process this more. Pounding on the dorm room wall. Made the buzzing. Excuse me. Knocked on the neighbor's wall. Someone coming back. I said, I just, because it'd have to be like the tail end. We'll say it's like a hot summer. And I got, if I'm gonna, I said, final your. Yeah. Kept hearing my phone buzz in bed. Collar kept hanging up. Was hard enough to sleep in that heat. It stuck to your skin, your soul. Pounding on the dorm room wall didn't stop the buzzing. Knocking on the neighbor's door. Someone coming back for the final year. Said to them, "What you doing? Got like a fridge against the wall?" I just got here. I don't know how successful this story will be. Likely might be one I never come back to, but that's fine. Not everything you write is going to be publishable. Everything you write could be publishable. Just how much time do you really want to spend making it interesting enough for someone other than yourself to read? It takes a lot of time, a lot of revisions, and a lot of editing. Unless you're a poet, which I am not. I'm not saying poets don't edit their stuff and contemplate and think about it. But yeah. Anyway, so knocking on the neighbor's door, someone coming back for the final yell, said to them, "Just got here. You got a fridge against the wall, buzzing something." There'll be cicadas. Maybe they're cicadas. Cicadas. God, those are hideous little bugs. Make a hell of a noise. Although, I kind of appreciate the noise. Reminds me of swampy humidity. Just got here. You got like fridge against the wall? Nope. They said, maybe cicadas. A little late in the year, but maybe. Did you hear it? I just shrugged. Roommates. I don't know. That's at least will shut off the other wall. That way they can't validate or verify that they're going crazy or insane. There we go. Oh, fudge. Fudge, fudge, fudge. At least got some sort of story. It's kind of weird. Not, I don't know. I guess all the crazy stuff that this game has inspired me to write. This feels a little normal, kind of fun. I don't have to invent an entire world today, which is nice for me, at least. Kept hearing my phone buzz in bed. Collar kept hanging up. It was hard enough to sleep in that heat stuck to your skin, your soul pounding on the dorm room wall. Did stop. Didn't stop the buzzing. Knocked on the neighbor's door. Next dorm room door. Let's possess that. Nope, they said maybe cicadas. They shrugged. Yawned. I don't hear it. Okay. Hey, this is at least I. Nope. Maybe they're cicadas. Maybe it's cicadas. You hear it? Okay. He just looked at me. He just looked at me. Eyes just. Okay. Well. Um. Let's just do. 1 to 4 female, 5 to 8 male. The rest's male. Okay. What's the name? Names. Oh, names. I hold up my hand. Josh. I don't know where that name's coming from, but it's going to be Josh right now. Boom. There you go, Josh. His eyes just telling me to leave. His eyes just telling me go. Said, well, thanks for the time. Held out my hand. Oh, my name's Josh. Corey. He said, shutting the door. Hitting fingertips. Back in the room. Heat got hotter. Room sweaty. Buzzing. Going. Maybe cicadas are a light fixture. Let's see. Light. Nope. Maybe it's cicadas. It'd be a little late in the year, but you hear it? They just shrugged and yawned. I don't know. I did genderize this person, I believe. And let's do that. Should I hyper move this thing? If it's flash fiction, I just keep it. I mean, everyone's going to know. It's going to be bees. Bees are in the wall. They don't know that yet. It's in a room. It's nature. Flipped on most of the lights. Flipped on and off the lights. Bathroom lights buzzed. Not my room. I guess if you turned on the air conditioning and cooled down the room, you'd cool down the wall. I guess that'd be one reason, more reason to do it. And then that's what it could be an excuse. It'd be like fridge against the wall, air conditioning unit. Oh, that's Buzz, but not my rooms. Matt, Jan, Luke, and Raj, and sure. Neither had a neither had an air conditioning unit. Or some fridge or something. I got some sleep. I don't know. I mean, how much longer does this really need to be? The mystery is about to be solved. Like how, I mean, wouldn't... I guess that would be... Huh. Huh? Days passed. Luke and Corey just shrugged. Looked at each other. Probably. All right, so excuse me for that burp. A day later. So I slept. They're going to go into the wall. Eating. I think this is at least a kind of a fun story, I suppose, and it does remain a mystery, right? We give some clues. There's buzzing in the wall. They don't know what it is. It only happens during hot days because I'm not a bee expert, but I think a lot of their buzzing gets more intense during hot days to keep the hive cool. So during cool times, you're not going to have as much buzzing. Luke grinned, "Are you ready to open the wall?" I nodded. Yeah. It was a vent. I jabbed. There's the fork of the hammer. Pried away the wall section. Fist size hole. And buzzing blew up. Buzzing was everywhere. Then came the bees. Flowing in a swarm into the room. Buzzing. Well, I think that's it. Yeah, like we have our setup, we have our resolution, we have our mystery solved. All those words. It's only been 50 minutes. That's awesome. I think this is a decent story. At least off the cuff, I'm not going to say that I'm going to become a literary hero my ego wants to become. It's thinking to get me known. Hell, this will probably never be read again, except for by some sort of agent intelligence processing and other types of machines than humans. Yeah. Well, let's just read this thing aloud and be done. Why prolong this? See if the story doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be in the parameters in a story. Have a resolution and not just something. I need a name. The buzz, that buzzing. Buzz. And it shows progression. Like future is just a thing. So it's the point before now. I don't need to use it as a device because this is not science fiction. This is not speculative fiction. This is not dystopian or utopian fiction. But it's just fiction. So for today's stochastic fiction game, with the story elements setting time future, setting main location and room, conflict person versus nature, quantity of primary characters many, got it, point of view first, tense past tense, genre mystery, format flash fiction. I think I've got all those story elements within here today. It's a first, and without having to create some sort of alternate story about how they are in this story today, I don't need to do that. Okay, let's read this thing aloud. For today's stochastic fiction story with the story elements just previously read, this story is called Buzz. Buzz. Kept hearing my phone buzz in bed. Collar kept hanging up. Was hard enough to sleep in that. It stuck in your skin, your soul, pounding on the dorm room wall. The buzzing didn't stop. Knocked on the neighbor's dorm room door. Someone coming back for the final year. Said to them, just got here. You got like a fridge against the wall? Air conditioned music? Buzzing something. Nope, they said. Maybe it's cicadas. It's a little late in the year, but... You hear it? He just shrugged and yawned. I don't know. He shrugged and yawned again. I don't hear it. My roommate locks the door. She's looking to move out. Not hear much. He just looked at me, his eyes just telling me, go. Said, well, thanks for your time. Held out my hand for a shake. Oh, my name's Josh. Corey said, shutting the door, hitting my fingertips with the door. Heat got hotter, room sweaty, buzzing going, flipping on and off the lights, hearing the buzzing. Bathroom lights buzzed, not by my room. Met Jan, Luke, and Raj living in the connecting rooms above and to the other side. Neither had a fridge, nor an air conditioning unit, nor some fridge or something to make a vibration. Around noon the buzzing stopped, the world cooled. I got some sleep, until the heat of the next morning. Day before first day, buzzing returned. Pounded the wall until Corey and Luke came into my dorm, asking, what's going on? All three of us put our ears against the wall, heard the buzzing. You got something going on in there, said Luke. We should open it, said Corey. Huh? I said. Won't that be a thing? Luke and Corey just shrugged, looked at each other. Probably, said Corey, and Luke nodded. The school didn't much care. Made me file a ticket. The ticket was then put in a queue, and it got hot. First days of class sweated away, laying in bed after trying to get sleep, only buzzing. Someone from the office said they'd be out a couple days. They'd be out in a couple days. But the day later, the buzzing goes away. The days got cool, so I slept. Maintenance arrived while I was in automotive class. Reported that they couldn't hear a thing. Told me nothing was wrong. Something still buzzed days later. And opening the window didn't make it louder to let the breeze during the cool day. The only thing that got louder were air conditioning units, windows open. There's something in the wall, I said to Luke, eating a sandwich on a bench near the sociology building. Luke grinned. Are you ready to open the wall? Nodded. Yeah, let's do it. It was an event. Raj, Corey, Jan, Corey's girlfriend, and Luke helped move the bed and lay down some plastic. Couldn't hear buzzing, but figured maybe a small hole, cover it with a poster. You to make sure you don't hit a board, jabbed the fork of the hammer into the wall, prying away a section. Sheetrock fell on plastic. Fist-sized hole appeared. Buzzing was everywhere there. Then the bees, flowing in a swarm into the room. Buzzing. That was the story for the day. I made a few on the fly corrections to fall within sort of the narrative voice. Not too bad. It's better than I thought it would be. It took a little bit less time. I didn't have to create a whole world, a whole fiction, so I was able to at least pull from existence, and a long one at that, to cobble together the story. Let's rate it. I'm going to go, hey, I could probably make, this is kind of fun, and it hits all of the story elements without making it hard. And I think people who are reading this would probably know right away what this story is. But it also builds up a timeline very well, in my mind at least, to show progression of relationships through this event too, which I kind of like. So there's this external show of the conflict building, but also the progression of this person moving into this new place for the first time. I'm going to give it a 4. I think editing it may help it smell like perfume instead of poop. Yeah. I mean, let's add the story. Write the story. And save the story. All within a source control GitHub Git environment to allow me to get all the revisions of this, because there's also the alternative motive of saving all your writing and the changes as well. It's all part of the game. And that was the Stochastic Fiction game for today. Until the next game, until the next time, try to find a way to write. Those ways are everywhere.